I had this idea that I would bring Triglav, the mountain, to the city as a gift to those who are too feeble to travel into nature. As an artist, I played with ideas for a long time to bring something that is big and enormous and out of reach of everyday experience and bring it closer to people. And so one of those enormous things was the highest mountain in Slovenia called Triglav, which means, literally translates into three heads because the mountain has three peaks. We brought a ladder that we put in a park. I put a plank across the ladder, and I sat on the very top, and the two of them sat on these planks a little bit lower. One was David Nez, who was my OHO colleague and good friend. He's an American who studied at the Academy of Visual Arts in Ljubljana. And the other one was an artistic colleague, Drago della Bernardina. So I convinced them to sit with me.
And then we pulled this big plastic tarp up over us and poked our heads through it. So we had these three long-haired hippies sticking their heads out of the tarp and gazing down on the world.
And then on a piece of wood, I would write Triglav and put it underneath at the foot of this mountain. And we put it in the center of a park, and it was snowing. And we sat there for about 3 hours in a freezing cold. And people stopped by, and some were completely puzzled. Some were really chuckled and brought some happiness to them. So I thought the project was a success. I think for some young people, in part was just the audacity of doing it in that day and age. People were not used to this kind of creativity. Some adults called us hooligans, which I always objected because my association with hooligans was that they are violent. And I never liked violence. I wanted something more humorous and peaceful, but it was disruptive to the status quo.
I don't think any of us really understood the significance of the Triglav project at that time. But looking back in retrospect, it seems like it really struck a nerve by spoofing this symbol of Slovenian national identity that was so exalted and hallowed. Triglav has also become a symbol of Slovenian contemporary art in a sense. It marked that point during which a whole generation of artists of the 60s came of age. Of course, the 60s being a time of rebellion, free thinking, a time of exploration.
Later on, other artists appropriated that idea and started to do their own versions of Triglav. So that gained more momentum. And then when I did my exhibit in Ljubljana in 2018, my retrospective, as part of that exhibit, they created a competition for people of Slovenia to create their own Triglav versions. And so there are all kinds of variations of the theme that happened. I think that it had, for people, had these multiple layers of meaning that I later discovered, and it was not my original intent. Originally, I just wanted to do something fun, something silly, something that was generous to the city. I wanted to rebel, but I wanted to rebel in a fun way, in a creative way, rather than with guns and storming the castle.
So it continues to live on as a symbol of contemporary Slovenian culture and art. But for the three of us, we were just sitting on that ladder, living in the moment, having a good time, and making art.